Shabbat Shalom. It's so wonderful to see you all. Thank you, everybody who's here on our campus at Stephen Wise Temple. And thank you, everybody who's joining us from home, wherever you are. We're grateful that you've chosen to be with us on this Shabbat, this first Shabbat of the month of July. And you know, there's on Facebook, you might have noticed this if you have friends who are clergy. At the beginning of every July, when it rolls around, you get all of these folks posting that it's their 4th year anniversary or their 6th year anniversary, because most synagogues, that's how you count your time in the synagogue. We start on July 1st. And today's a special day for our cantor because it's her first day as our senior cantor, and we're really excited. First Shabbat as our senior cantor, so we're excited to celebrate that. And Rabbi Stern, how many years does this mark for you as you begin? He's counting. He's doing the math. Carry the 7. Anyway.
What about you, Rabbi?
This is now my 9th. I'm starting my 10th year at Stephen Wise Temple. So it's very exciting for me to be here.
Lucky us.
Lucky me. 18 years ago, the Cohen family, Alan and Naz, and tonight we get to celebrate your daughter becoming bat mitzvah. So many celebrations. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to begin with a reading on page 7. If you have your prayer book, you can open up right there. And feel free to join with me. Love to hear your voices. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Yedid Nefesh, page 10, part of our Kabbalat Shabbat, welcoming the Sabbath bride.
Yedid Nefesh of HaRachaman, of HaRachaman, Meshoch Avdecha, El Retzonecha, El Retzonecha, Yarutz Avdecha, Kemo Ayal, Yishtachave, El Muladarecha. Yedid Nefesh of HaRachaman, of HaRachaman, Meshoch Avdecha, El Retzonecha, El Retzonecha.
On page 2, we light the Sabbath candles and we invite the Cohen family to come forward and honor us by lighting the Shabbat lights.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu leha להדליק נר, להדליק נר של Shabbat. Page 16. Words of Psalm 98. I can't tell you after 15, 16 months of singing mostly at home how amazing it is to hear your voices. Jerry, I heard you singing the candle blessings. It just makes my heart soar, and it's such a gift to have Sarah home for the summer and sing with me. So I hope you'll hum along, sing along to the words of Zamru Ladonai, page 16. Page 20. ראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. Please rise. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי קלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
Page 28, Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai.
On page 30, Ma'ariv Aravim, our evening prayer. You can be seated.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim v'chokhma poteach she'arim ובתבונה משנה עיתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם מרגיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, יאי לי 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 לי, כולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו. חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבי.
Shema reminds us of how connected everything is in the world, our community, all people on earth, our planet, our solar system, our galaxy, all part of a universe made by the one God.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Michamocha is our prayer of freedom and liberation. You can find it on page 40. It celebrates what, in so many ways, this weekend is all about, a celebration of freedom as we prepare for July 4th and we think about what it's meant for us to be able to celebrate Jewish life here in the United States as part of a Jewish community that has been able to build and create and participate in ways that have been unprecedented in the diaspora. May that only continue. We think about all the ways that we have found freedom and we continue to fight for freedom for ourselves and others. Michamocha, page 40.
Misha Berach is on page 253. When we pray, we hold on to hope that miracles happen, but we also know that we are the ones who bring healing to those who are ill, bring healing to those in our community who need our strength and our courage and our efforts to help them see the path through their illness to healing. So as we sing the prayer, please hold on to thoughts of your own loved ones in your heart, as well as the recognition that there is work that you still need to do in this world to help others heal.
Avraham, Yitzchak veYaakov, Mi sheberach imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mi sheberach avoteinu, mi sheberach imoteinu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
We continue to pray silently.
Olam. Please be seated.
You know, whenever I hear that song, that prayer, I'm reminded of my daughter, because I used to sing it to her, and I didn't scar her too badly by singing it to her, but she would put up with me singing it to her when she was a baby. She's now 28, getting married, so it's one of those moments. Not for a while, but she's getting married. It's a COVID delay. So in thinking about what we would share with you this evening, I reflected on some of the great American organizations that have, through the efforts of the Jewish community, in so many ways transformed not just American Judaism, but I would say the face of this country, the quality and content of this country. And one of those is the American Jewish Committee. It's an organization that, well, Rick will tell you how long it's been around, but it's an organization that I've been particularly attracted to because of the way it approaches the issues in our world. And in a moment, I'm going to invite Rick Hirschout, who's the Los Angeles director of American Jewish Committee, to come forward. AJC has been an important partner with WISE in so many of our efforts to understand and act around issues facing the Jewish community. They do, of course, that on their own, but they've done it with us as well. And over just the past 6 months, we've offered 2 separate programs in serious partnership with AJC, working with Rick and with Dr. Saba Sumach, also well known to this congregation, the associate director of AJC. We offered a 3-part series on race and Judaism, an important, really important dive into understanding the complexities of what it is to be Jewish and interact with Jews of color and people of color who are not Jewish, and it was a particularly fascinating series. We also offered a 2-part series on the ethnic studies curriculum. If you may remember, there was a lot of controversy surrounding that in California. The first iteration was particularly disturbing to the Jewish community. And through the efforts of AJC and the Los Angeles Federation and a number of other important Jewish organizations, we actually managed to change that curriculum significantly. Both of those series are available still on the WISE website. So if you'd like to catch up, if you didn't see it, you can navigate to it on our WISE website. In addition to my own personal connection, many members of WISE are also deeply connected to AJC. And in fact, our own Mark Graboff, longtime member of the Temple, is the current chair of the board. I've also served on committees over the years for AJC. And what I appreciate most about the organization is its nuanced, informed, distinctly and intentionally nonpartisan approach to issues that are so relevant to the Jewish community. And so that's why I think the AJC has really earned the title that, if not formal, is used by many of us who know the organization and know what it does. It's called the State Department of the Jewish People. So with that, I'd like to invite Rick to come forward and join me here, my friend Rick, who we met once a long time ago when he first started, and we've only seen each other in 2D for the past year and 4 months. So it's nice to see that you actually have 3 dimensions.
But
you have many.
Trying to make sure the 3 dimensions don't become 4 dimensions during lockdown, but that's life.
So first of all, thanks for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you for leading such an important organization.
It's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to be in 3D and to finally be able to gather as we are in this beautiful setting tonight.
Tell us about AJC, when and why it was formed and what the original vision of its founders was and how that's evolved throughout the years. I think it's important for folks to know.
So AJC dates back to 1906. It is probably the oldest and most venerable human and civil rights agency of the Jewish community. I had the privilege also of serving the Anti-Defamation League for more than 20 years, and ADL is the little brother or little sister of AJC, and together the organizations form a tremendous and dynamic duo of community relations and human relations for the betterment not just of the Jewish community but for all of society. AJC in many respects is the best face of the Jewish world to the world at large, and we operate really on 3 fundamental pillars. First and foremost, to present a positive image of Jewish life, and in so doing to push back against anti-Semitism and hate. Secondly, we have the great privilege of seeking to ensure the safety and security and place of Israel, advancing Israel and assuring Israel's place among the family of nations. And that is a challenge, frankly, that is increasingly more complicated for us. And then the third pillar of this stool, if you will, is to promote pluralism, to defend democratic values. And we do that through coalitions, through partnerships with so many communities who have similar histories of persecution and discrimination. And we stand shoulder to shoulder in advancing the best of humanity.
And you have a particularly close relationship with Azerbaijan, correct?
So what's interesting in Los Angeles, outside of the United Nations and all of the permanent missions to the UN, all the different countries that are represented, and outside of Washington, D.C., where the embassies exist, Los Angeles actually hosts and boasts the largest number of foreign consulates anywhere in the world. And as it so happens, the Consulate General of Azerbaijan, which is led by the Dean of the Consular Corps, Nassimi Agayev, a wonderful friend of the Jewish people and of the Jewish community, is a regular partner for AJC and for our community.
Yeah, I know that because during that recent clash between Armenia and Azerbaijan, it just so happens through my connections to AJC, Nassimi reached out to me and said, I need you to talk to the rabbis. I need you to make it clear that Azerbaijan is a Muslim country that has close relations with Israel and has a positive relationship with the Jewish community in general. And just in your public vocalizations, be aware of that was kind of his advice, which was good advice, I think.
It was important advice, and it was, I think in many respects, a challenge certainly for AJC and the organized Jewish community to walk that appropriate middle path during that terrible conflict last fall, in which some of the violence actually spilled over onto the streets of Los Angeles. We have, as a Jewish community, a tremendous kinship with the Armenian community because of a shared history of tragedy and genocide in the 20th century. And of course, with Azerbaijan, we have a country that is a dear friend of Israel, that boasts its own large and indigenous Jewish community, mountain Jews, you may have heard them described as. And so it was a tricky path, but I think an important path to maintain a positive relationship with both communities.
A couple of the areas that concern Jews today, beyond the rise of anti-Semitism on the left and the right, are the way that BDS has found a toehold in universities, in the UTLA, unfortunately. And I understand, I'm not sure what you can share with us, because I know what makes AJC so special is that it works, and effective is that it works very often behind the scenes and subtly to change minds and change policies. But is there anything you can tell us about what's going on now and how AJC is working?
Certainly, and I think to your last point, Ron, has really been the hallmark of AJC through the decades has been the enduring relationships that we build, that we spend a great time investing in. And it's very much about personal connections. You mentioned Mark as the president of our board. We've had also tremendous leadership, Julie and Steve Bram, Marcy and Cliff Goldstein, and so many others here from WISE. And much of AJC's work has, in fact, been this quieter, more subtle diplomacy. And when we talk about global Jewish advocacy, which has really been the slogan of the organization, the truth is, going back to the terrible tragedy in Pittsburgh almost 3 years ago, that really was a game changer for the Jewish community, very much for AJC. Global Jewish advocacy has to begin right here at home. And so much of that quieter, softer diplomacy has had to pivot and really become much more upfront and out front. So when we talk about BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanctions on college campuses, we're looking at young people, our children, our grandchildren, who have been raised as proud Jews, who care about social justice in the world, who marched in the streets following the terrible tragic murder of George Floyd 1 year ago, but who find themselves shut out and cut out from those progressive spaces because of their proud Zionism. And that's something that is a splash of cold water in their face when they arrive on a college campus, ready to make friends, ready to embrace the world in this next step before moving into full adulthood. It's a challenge for us, and we have to do all that we can to combat it. We're seeing it on campuses. We're seeing it in associations. UTLA, the United Teachers of Los Angeles, will vote in September as a union, 1,000 persons strong, to opine and adopt BDS as a policy. We hope that won't happen. We're working in coalition with Federation, with ADL, with other fine organizations to hope that internally the teachers and the parents who are connected to UTLA will come to their senses, really, and defeat this.
So we've offered you a teaser, really, of an organization that is doing so much in the world and doing it in a comprehensive way that actually produces meaningful effects. We'll continue to partner with AJC because of the good work that it does. So what I would say to all of you folks and the folks who are watching as well is keep your eyes and ears tuned to upcoming events that we'll be co-sponsoring. We also work with ADL. Of course, we work with the Los Angeles Federation to respond to many of the challenges that face us. And of course, we'll have plenty of good news to share as well, because AJC enjoys some wonderful successes.
Absolutely.
Which you can find out more about those on their website. Rick, thanks. I wish we could talk longer, but
it's a pleasure. We welcome you. We are blessed with this partnership. It has been a joy to work with Rabbi Stern, with Rabbi Yoshi, Rabbi Zweiback, excuse me. And it's a pleasure. It's just a pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So
Shabbat Shalom all.
And appropriately, you know what, Rick, I'm going to throw you a curveball. Would you come here? I think this is appropriate. I trust that you can do this well. It's a prayer for the United States. I think that as you're our guest, and because of the work that AJC does, it's appropriate for you. So if you would mind reading that. Yeah, exactly. We're on page 258.
O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
בשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, ברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו.
O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love and spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there, as we all say.
אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, אמן סלע, אמן
It's time for our Kiddush. You can find that on page 5, and it's our custom to share smachot, to share joyous moments. Is there anybody celebrating a birthday this evening? If you're here with us and you've got a birthday this week, just raise your hand so we can wish you happy birthday. Stand up. We're all going to end up standing up. How about an anniversary? You can stay standing, and at home you can put your simcha in the chat. Anybody starting a new job this week? Who's got a new job? Anyone? Cantor Emma, thank you so much. Any other joyous moments? Graduation. We have a bat mitzvah coming up, so let's stand up. Let's all stand up in community, in joy with one another as we give thanks to God for the sweet moments in our lives.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'avav ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tzion mitzrayim kivanu v'avarta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat l'chaim.
Amen. L'chaim. And you can stay standing for Aleinu L'Shabach, which you can find on page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו ושמו ושמו
You may be seated. Before Kaddish Yatom, we're, of course, especially thinking about Surfside, Florida, as we're learning more and more about the casualties and the missing, and we join in solidarity with people all across our country as we reach out to those who are waiting and worrying and hoping against hope that loved ones will be saved. And we think of people closer who are experiencing moments of loss, people in our own congregation, in our own community. And I'll invite you, if you are in a period of Shiva or Shloshim, the first 7 or 30 days of mourning, to please rise. If you're in the first year of mourning, the loss of a loved one, please rise. And if this evening is a yortzeit, the anniversary of the death of a loved one, please stand. And I ask all of you, if it's your custom to stand in solidarity with the mourners, please do so now. We turn to page 294 for Kaddish Yatom, our prayer of memory. We give thanks to God for the lives we so deeply miss at this moment. We give thanks that they were part of our world and that Many of them were able to bring inspiration and life to us. Please join with me. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divarach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon u'v'yom echon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehe shemei Rabbah mevarach l'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha barich hu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehe shalama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the one who makes peace in the high places make peace for us here on earth, for us, for all Israel, for all humanity. So we say together, Amen. You can be seated. And Cantor, remember, we have something special for the July 4th weekend, correct?
Yeah, I'd love for you all to join us. Perhaps not to give you musical chairs, but maybe we'll rise again and we'll join in America the Beautiful on page 377. These words are so inspiring. They're classic and just a wonderful reminder of us of all that we have to be grateful for. Our independence, our beautiful, if complicated nation, and our wonderful community here at Wise. So please join us, 377. And thanks for being with us tonight at home and here in person.
Skies for amber waves of rain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Shabbat Shalom, and
Shabbat
thank you to
Shalom.
everybody for joining us. Thank you
Yes.
to our summer intern, Sarah Anderson. Thank you, Cantor Emma and Mazel Tov. Thank you, Rabbi Stern. Thank you, Rick from the AJC. Thank you, Maestro. Thank you, Jeff Stern. Thanks to our crew. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. Thanks, Rabbi.